Meet Heinrich Bartels, a young man from Austria that became one of Germany's many deadly pilots in World War II. Heinrich, also known as Hans, was a famous German ace that went missing after participating in a legendary dogfight. Over 2 decades later, Bartels was found, his remains still sitting in his cockpit. The British and American forces were unquestionably the most lethal foe a pilot could encounter in the 1940s, and Bartels was one of the few German pilots who had a significant deal of success against them. Growing up in Schleswig, Bartels was exposed to the rise of the Nazi Party and the militarization of Germany in the years leading up to World War II. However, it's unclear whether he held any strong political beliefs or if he joined the military primarily for the opportunity to fly. But one thing is for sure, Bartels was determined to pursue a career as a pilot. And after completing his education, he enlisted in the German army, but quickly transferred to the Luftwaffe, the German Air Force. In the Luftwaffe, Bartels underwent rigorous training and quickly proved himself to be a skilled and determined pilot. The Luftwaffe was responsible for a variety of operations during the war. They conducted strategic bombing of enemy industrial and civilian targets, as well as tactical bombing to support ground troops. They also played a key role in the Battle of Britain, the air battle for control of the skies over Britain in 1940. In addition, the Luftwaffe was responsible for air defense of the German homeland and provided air support for German ground forces on the eastern and western fronts. The Luftwaffe had also a special operation named paratroopers, or Fallschirmjäger. This unit was specially trained for airborne assault and drop operations. In 1941, Bartels was assigned to a squadron on the Eastern Front, where he quickly made a name for himself by downing multiple Soviet aircraft in the early months of his tour. His aggressive and skilled tactics earned him a reputation as a formidable opponent, and he quickly rose through the ranks, becoming a flight leader and eventually a squadron commander. During World War II, the flight leader and squadron commander were key positions within the Air Force of a given country. In his first 2 years in the air, Bartels shot down approximately 50 enemy aircraft. Nevertheless, in 1943, Bartels was sent to the war's Western Front. Bartels' first posting was with Ergänzungsstaffel JG-26 on the Channel Front in the Battle for Britain. He was awarded the Iron Cross for 46 victories. He claimed 47 Russian aircraft shot down in 100 combat missions on the Arctic Front, 21 of which were in the month of September 1942 alone. He received the Knight Cross of the Iron Cross after 46 aerial victories on the 13th of November 1942. The Iron Cross is typically awarded for bravery, leadership, and exceptional service in the face of the enemy. There are several different classes of the Iron Cross, with the first class being the highest honor. The Iron Cross was awarded to many famous individuals during World War II, including German Field Marshals Erwin Rommel and Gerd von Rundstedt, as well as German ace fighter pilot Ernst Udet. Now back to the war. The majority of the most accomplished Luftwaffe aces, including Hartmann, Roll, and numerous more, fought almost exclusively against the Soviet Union. The average longevity of a German pilot was substantially shorter in this theater, and many of the outstanding pilots who faced the deadly Spitfires, Thunderbolts, and Mustangs of the Western Front would not see this same degree of success. Heinrich Bartels, however, was an exception to this rule. He is one of the few German pilots who actually plainly had no issue flying against the Americans, as he piled up an incredibly outstanding kill tally after being sent to the West. In the spring of 1943, Bartels was transferred to Jagdgeschwader 27, nicknamed Africa, based in the Mediterranean theater. His Messerschmitt Bf 109 F Black 13 was named Hella. Bartels soon raised his victories to 73 by the end of 1943 in the Mediterranean theater, adding 24 kills to his total. Of these, 14 would be American P-38 Lightning aircraft, which were undoubtedly difficult foes for a German pilot. Bartels faced the twin-engine fighters head-on with evident ease. Bartels and the rest of his flight took off on December 23, 1944, to intercept a raid near Bonn, Germany. He and his wingman would see American P-47 Thunderbolts pursuing a friendly German aircraft during this flight. Bartels promptly led them into battle and brought down the Allied aircraft. For his 99th kill, he would swiftly take out one of the P-47 Thunderbolts that was pursuing his friend, but this would be his last. Most likely, he was shot down by a P-47 Thunderbolt fighter of the USAF 56th Fighter Group. The P-47 Thunderbolt was a single-engine fighter aircraft used by the United States Army Air Force during World War II. The P-47 Thunderbolt was heavily armed with 8 50-caliber machine guns and was able to carry a large amount of ordnance, making it an effective ground attack aircraft. It was known for its ruggedness and durability and was able to absorb a significant amount of damage and still return to base. The P-47 Thunderbolt fighters of the 56th Fighter Group were known for their effectiveness in air-to-air combat against German fighters such as the Messerschmitt Bf-109 and Focke-Wulf FW-190. Bartels' comrades were probably aware of his fate when he failed to return from this operation. He most certainly would have radioed his intentions to his wingman if he had decided to bail out or crash land, or someone would have spotted a parachute. However, since none of these things happened, many of them realized that their cherished ace was probably dead. However, without any additional information, no one could ever know what happened to this renowned German ace who had 99 kills. He would remain missing for at least the next 24 years because there was never any mention of a crash scene or a recovery. The fate of Heinrich Bartels would finally be cleared up on January 26, 1968, when a small group made a discovery. The renowned Yellow 13 Bf-109 fighter that Bartels piloted was discovered buried deep in the soft earth in a wooded region adjacent to Bad Godesberg, Germany. Along with the actual aircraft, Bartels' body parts were also found within the cockpit of his favorite Messerschmitt. After a search party discovered the German ace's wedding band, which was still hidden within his glove in the cockpit, they were able to positively identify him. Colonel David Carl Schilling, who is thought to have shot him down, survived the war and died in 1956. Heinrich Bartels is remembered for his bravery and sacrifice and was honored with a memorial at the airfield where he served. The 56th Fighter Group is credited with the destruction of 665.5 aircraft in air-to-air combat, making it the top-scoring Republic P-47 Thunderbolt group during World War II. The 56th Fighter Group also recorded the second highest number of air-to-air kills of any USAF fighter group during the war. But Bartels' legacy is not without controversy. The atrocities committed by the Nazi regime during the war cannot be ignored and cast a shadow over Bartels' accomplishments as a pilot. As we remember Bartels and many other soldiers who served, it is important to acknowledge their sacrifices and experiences, while also understanding the broader historical context in which they acted. Overall, Heinrich Bartels was a skilled and determined pilot who made a significant impact during World War II. His accomplishments as a pilot were notable, but it's important to remember the controversial context in which they were made and the atrocities committed by the Nazi regime. As we remember Bartels and the many other soldiers who served, it's important to acknowledge their sacrifices and experiences while also understanding the broader historical context in which they acted.